Well, I am working on this project right here. So I was at a bazaar and somebody came up and they said, I have a sign that I'd like to have some lettering put on it. And so this is the sign. So it's a house. I used to have some names here, and she wants it to say, God bless this house, and then a verse down here. And so I told her, yeah, I think I can do that for you. So I'm gonna try to do that. So I was carrying this up to the shop, and once I got it up here, I was like, oh no, one of the windows is gone out of the house. And you know, those are pretty small. It's not even really an inch big. And so I was like, please Lord, either help me make a new window to match or help me find that one. So I went down to the house and I was retracing my steps. And when I got down to the sidewalk down there, there it was sitting on the sidewalk. There it is. Yay! So I am going to be gluing that in place. Matter of fact, let's just glue that in place right now. All right, I'm just gonna put some glue down in there. Just like that. And then put that right in there. Yay! Yay. Okay, cool. I got to looking at this wood and it looks like some of these are stained. You can tell on the side, on the back. So we've got natural wood colors, and then on the side here we can see which one had some stain put on it. Like these three are. These are natural. That's natural. That one's natural. So I need to be careful that I don't sand it too much that I can't. So I have to match the stain because matching the stain might be a little bit difficult. So I'm going to use this chisel and I'll just remove, oh, that came right off. It came right off. The chisel took off the little chunks that were on there and I was able to sand enough to smooth things out, and it didn't remove any of the stain, thankfully. I used some mineral spirits to dissolve away some of the glue that was still on there, and that worked really well. There. That looks pretty good. Let's see if we can make this a little more solid. There were two vertical boards on the back that everything was glued to, so I drove some screws where that one board was loose, then added 2 more screws just for stability. There. That's holding that much better now. Yay! I used the laser to draw the letters out for me, like a template. I could have also printed them off and glued them to the wood, but since I had the laser, this worked really well. And since some letters will require those pesky inner cuts, I drilled holes so I could thread the blade. First, I cut out all of the letters that didn't require any fretful threading. Then lastly, I threaded the blade through and cut the inner parts of the letters that needed it. Then cut the outline of the letters last. I've learned it is much easier to cut the inner parts first and then cut the letter out afterwards. I've broken a bunch by doing it the opposite way. It just leaves the letter nice and sturdy while you're cutting the inner part out. I also used my Hawk scroll saw. It is my preferred saw for fretful threading of the blade. For the wood, I used some thin stuff I had on hand. I'm not sure what type of wood it is, but it's nice and sturdy. And for the scroll saw blade, I used a number 5. Okay, let's check out the letters. God. Right. This. And then the verse is going to go right here. So I'm going to do the verse after I've done the lettering. Well, to make that curve, I think I will just make a curve with this and some rope. So I'm going to drill some holes in this. I'll be right back. Alrighty, got the holes drilled in there. I'm just going to put this through there and make a knot. Should be pretty simple. Famous last words. Famous last words. Okay, yay, the hole is big enough. Whew. And I'll make one knot. I imagine I'm gonna have to adjust it to get the angle just right to what I want it to be. There. Oh yeah, that size. So let's see. Let's just take it over there and figure out the angle. Like that maybe. Let's try that. That looks pretty good. Let's do it like that. Really good hold. There. Okay. I used this curved stick to align the letters and it worked great, except it was really fragile. I aligned along the bottom of the letters and next was to glue them all in place. Okay, I broke my stick, so I made one out of this metal ruler, which I think is better because it bends more evenly and I can see where the center is, so yay! I realigned it all again with the metal ruler, centering approximately along the midline of the house. There. All right, nice, let's glue them on. I used Titebond 2 and glued the letters right along the curve of the ruler. I used a little brush and water to clean up any screws out. And I did this all the way around. Using the house, I'm going to mark the center of the board, which is like right here. Okay, that's where I want the verse to be. Using that as a center. And now I'm going to go put it under the laser. My laser is grounded to one of the metal legs on the table, so I needed to lift the laser up enough to get the sign underneath it. And with the one corner tied down, it was a little cumbersome, but I finally got it. I measured the space where I wanted the verse to go, and I adjusted the size in the Lightburn program. So I'm gonna click on this, and it's 6 right now, so let's make it up to 7. 7. There. Then ran the laser beam to show me the outline of the area it was going to laser. This is a really great feature on this program, and it helps for aligning things.
Go up a little bit.
I adjusted around a little bit until I had it where I wanted it, and then started burning the verse.
Okay, there we go. And turn on the wind.
I like to put a fan blowing on it, and then I turn on the dust collection so that the smoke gets directed right to that dust hood and gets sucked away. The person wanted Matthew 7:24, which says, "Therefore everyone who hears these words of mine and puts them into practice is like a wise man who built his house on the rock." And what a perfect verse that is for this sign. The laser took about 12 minutes to burn this. I have it set at 47 speed and 80 power if anyone wants to know. Therefore, everyone who hears these words of mine and puts them into practice is like a wise man who built his house on the rock. Woo! And taking the sign out from under the laser was much easier than putting it in there. Here. Fantastic. Woo! Yay! And there it is. And I'm just going to erase the pencil line. I'm going to do it from up here. Just erase the pencil line. All right, there's no finish on this yet, and she asked me to shine the rest of this up. So I'm just gonna put a finish on everything, and hopefully it shines it up. Yay! I used Old Masters poly gel and wiped over everything, using a small brush to get around the lettering. Then I wiped it off according to the directions on the Old Masters can, working around the lettering, cleaning off the excess, and getting it wiped dry. And I let that set up for 6 hours. And then it was all done. I delivered the sign, and she sent me a picture of it hanging up in her house. And here it is. I met this lady at a bazaar I was selling at a few months ago. She came by my booth and she saw my stuff and said that her husband, who passed away a few years ago, used to do similar woodworking, even in Tarsha. She had on some earrings that he had made, and so I got to check those out, and they were really cool. Just earrings, and he had put a bead inside the wood part. Really pretty. And as we talked, she said that he had made a sign that needed some sprucing up. And since she saw that I did similar woodworking, she asked me if I could do that for her. So we exchanged emails, and she emailed me, and we talked back and forth about what it is that she wanted, and I went and picked the sign up so that I could do it. When I picked up the sign, I got to see some of her other projects that her husband had done. There was an intarsia on the wall, and that caught my eye right away, and it was beautiful. And I got to see some clocks that he made, and I got to see more earrings that he made. So that was really cool. Anyway, I feel really honored that she asked me to make the changes to their sign. And so thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you next time. Bye!